Have you ever wondered from an environmental perspective which Christmas tree option is the best choice, real or artificial? Well, I'm Eric Novak, and coming up, I'm going to give you the answer. So the holiday season is now upon us, and for families that celebrate Christmas all over the world, there are a host of traditions and customs that make this festive season one of their favorites throughout the entire year. There's a lot of factors and considerations you have to put into the holiday season when it comes to things like gift buying and celebrations and hosting and many, many more. And for more families, we're seeing the environment and sustainability being factored into that mix. We all want to enjoy the holiday season as we have since we were children, but at the same time, we want to make sure we're doing so nowadays that is less damaging to the environment and more sustainable overall. One area where sustainability would be a factor is with regard to Christmas trees. We have both real, naturally grown, and artificially made Christmas trees available to be put into homes everywhere. And for those who are trying to make a more sustainable choice, the question is, which of those two would be better overall for the environment? Well, I was curious about that too, and I've done some digging and some research, and in the end, I think the answer might surprise a lot of us. You see, in fact, when all factors are considered, when you look at the big picture, the most sustainable choice available in terms of Christmas trees is to use a real one. Now, it may seem that artificial trees are the logical choice given that they're used more than once, but to understand whether or not, you have to dig a little bit deeper. Now, all those picture-perfect designs, those frosted trees, those colored trees, they all seem appealing, but they're made with polyvinyl chloride, or PVC plastic. And that's a problem because PVC is known to be one of the most toxic to the environment, non-renewable, petroleum-based derivative plastics that exists. PVC has been known to produce several known carcinogens like ethylene dichloride and dioxin, one of the most toxic known substances to man. These carcinogens often work their way into communities, and several forms of cancer have been associated with them as well. About 85% of all artificial trees are made in Taiwan, China, or Korea, and the environmental protections that are set up in those countries are not the same as they would be here in North America. Fig trees also have lead and other additives included in the mix to make them more malleable. And these additives have been linked to a lot of other health conditions such as kidney, neurological, and reproductive systems. All in all, it's a toxic mess that we want to try to avoid. And when it comes to replacing an artificial tree, it can't be recycled. Instead, it's taken to landfill where it never, ever breaks down. Now, some people will say, but I use my artificial tree for 10 years or more. And while that might be the case for some, the reality is artificial tree makers don't make money unless you're buying trees more often than that. And the way they do so is they use a concept called perceived obsolescence. That tree might be good enough to last 10 years or 50 or 100 years, but unless you're buying a new one, it's not going to be beneficial to the company. So they create something new, a better design, more realistic, taller, better. In other words, they give you the perception that while that tree still may be good, you've got to buy another one, and that's how it works. By comparison, real Christmas trees are not chopped down from a forest, rather they're farmed. They're an agricultural resource that is sustainably managed rather than a form of deforestation. Christmas tree farms are also typically located on land that isn't suitable for other types of farming. Instead of leaving that land vacant, trees are planted, thus stabilizing the soil, protecting water supplies, and even providing habitat for local birds and animals. And similar to all trees, Christmas trees are also good for our atmosphere, as trees breathe in carbon dioxide while emitting oxygen. It's said that 1 acre of Christmas trees produces enough oxygen for approximately 18 people. Every time a Christmas tree is harvested, seedlings are often put in its place. In fact, most Christmas tree farmers will plant 2 or 3 seedlings for every 1 tree that's been harvested. And from a full life cycle analysis perspective, once that tree leaves your home, your municipality picks it up to be completely recycled. Quite often that Christmas tree will wind up as mulch or wood chips, thus leaving virtually no residual waste whatsoever. And Christmas tree farms are also good for the local economy. Tree farmers do this for a living, and the income that they earn while growing these trees often filter down into the local economy. The tree you see at your garden center or retailer was grown by a local farmer who uses his land to live sustainably and to make a healthy living. And where possible to experience, there is one additional benefit of a real Christmas tree purchase that artificial trees just can't match. So if you want to take even one step further, you want to get a real Christmas tree, but you don't want to get it necessarily at a supermarket or a floral center. If you live in an area where it's available, why not come to a Christmas tree farm and cut it down yourself? Doing so usually is a lot of fun for the family. I'm right now at Spademan Tree Farm, which is in Scugog, Ontario, near Port Perry, about an hour northeast of Toronto. And this is where my family has been getting our Christmas tree for the last several years. We usually come here and we make an afternoon of it. We make sure we're dressed appropriately because it can be cold, but you know what? There's usually a lot of families here. We could take a wagon ride to the furthest parts of the field if we like. They usually have a fire going. There's coffee or hot chocolate or apple cider, and then we basically go out and select the tree that's just right for us. Now, admittedly, it can be a bit of a challenge if there's different people wanting different ideas of what the perfect tree is, but again, that's also part of the experience. You bring a saw, you cut it down, and that's probably minimizing your carbon footprint even further, because some of those trees at garden centers, as you know, are trucked in from where they're grown. In Canada, Nova Scotia is where a lot of our trees come from. So if you want to remove that carbon element and you bring it to a local center, if you can, try this out. It's a lot of fun. Now, I know there could be a lot of different reasons why people choose one type of tree over another. You might want a real tree, but you can't. There could be allergies in the family, or maybe you live in a condo or an apartment building where they have rules against bringing real trees in, and I totally get that. And I also know that some people might feel the best environmental choice is no tree at all. That's okay too. The point of this video, though, is to try to explain to those folks who want a Christmas tree, want to make the best environmental choice, but aren't sure which of the two options, artificial or real, is best. Well, I hope this helped you to understand why real trees are the best choice for you. That's it for now. For EnviroDad.com, I'm Eric Novak. Thanks for watching. There's plenty of ways for you to keep connected with me, so check out some of my social media links, suggested videos, and I'd really love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel.